I bought this keyboard mostly for the purple see-through keycaps. Seriously though, look at these translucent caps. They match my setup perfectly and I couldn't resist. But after using the NuPhy Air60 HE for the past few weeks, I actually understand why it costs $120. Now before you think this is just another expensive keyboard video, I purchased this myself with my own money, no sponsorships, no collaborations, and I have to say, it actually delivers on what it promises. Before I got this keyboard, I thought magnetic switches meant the switches were held in place with magnets instead of clips. Thankfully though, it turns out they change how the keys actually work. Traditional mechanical switches have physical contact points that create the signal when you press a key. Hall effect switches though use a magnetic field instead, so there's no actual physical contact needed. What this practically means is that you can set your actuation points anywhere from as little as 0.1 millimeter to 3.3 mil per key. So if you want your WASD keys to trigger with the lightest touch, but your spacebar to need a full press, you can do that. It also has an 8000 Hz polling rate, which basically means by the time you clap once, in that 1 second, this thing signals your PC 8,000 times. I mean, at that point, does that even make a difference for you competitive gamers out there? Or is this a we did it because we can situation by the brand? Anyway, this is apparently the world's first low-profile Hall effect keyboard, though there has been a couple more pop up on the market now. Gaming-wise, the difference is noticeable. Now it's no secret I'm not a competitive gamer by any means, and shooters are not exactly my go-to, but I have been getting a little bit more into Marvel Rivals recently, and the quick actuation on the movement keys does feel more responsive compared to my previous keyboards. The last competitive FPS I played was Counter-Strike 1.6 back on Windows 2000, so we are talking a few decades here since I've been in that world, but even I can feel the difference. The keyboard is surprisingly light and easy to move around, which is handy when you need to adjust your setup. Now as for the downsides, typing on this for extended periods is a little bit rough. I'm using the Jade Pro switches which have a little bit firmer resistance, and after about 15 minutes or so of constant typing while scripting videos, my forearms start to feel the strain. The 60% layout also means no dedicated function keys or arrow keys, and everything requires the FN key combinations. If you're used to hitting those keys by muscle memory for productive work, it does get frustrating real quick. The 8000 Hz polling rate also requires a wired connection only, so there's no wireless freedom here. Now let's take a quick listen at a sound test. As for customizing the keyboard, you're going to want to head over to NuPhy.io, click on Start NuPhy IO, and then click Access Authorization and select the keyboard to connect for the first time. And then you'll be able to see the layout of your keyboard, and you've got different layers for different FN keys that you can assign. Now a lot of this is going to come down to playing around with it so you can get familiar with it. But if you do make any mistakes, you can always just reset each key by right-clicking the key and heading down to the reset. Head over to the Media Control Symbols tab so you can see everything that's available there. Then head over to RGB Control Symbols as well, so you can preset some RGB configurations, and then you've got things under special characters like mouse movements. Then if you head over to the macro tab, you've got 32 macro keys that you can set up. All the way at the top, when you hit trigger settings, this is where you can actually then go in and change your keys, the actuation points on every key. You can activate things like rapid trigger or continuous rapid trigger as well. You can select every single key virtually up on the keyboard on the screen and then make your setting changes as you please. Head over to the macro recording screen to set up your own macros, and then you can head over to the lighting effects tab as well in order to change over all the RGB effects that you have. So as you can see, there's quite a lot to choose from. You can change multiple colors. You can also change the speed of all the patterns that are available. And heading into mode settings, this is just a few extra things like disabling your Windows key, and you can actually choose your polling rate too. So if 8000 feels like it's too much, you can lower it down. But a lot of this is going to come down to you actually playing around with the software and getting a feel for what's happening as you're making these changes. But there's a quick rundown of NuPhy IO. This keyboard is built for competitive gamers. With features like rapid trigger, hyper tap, and rapid shift, you do get more precise control over every key response, and that should matter with competitive play. The customizable actuation points mean you can fine-tune each key for exactly how you want it to behave. There's also a rapid switch toggle on the body of the keyboard so that you can quickly switch between either different game profiles or operating systems that you can all set through the NuPhy software. The 60% form factor also frees up desk space for mouse movement, and the lightweight does make it easier to position exactly where you need need it. If you're primarily doing productivity work, editing, or playing story-based single-player games, you'll probably be happier with a 75% plus sized mechanical keyboard, as that can cost a lot less. The typing experience here prioritizes speed over comfort, and that trade-off isn't worth it for most people. So is this keyboard worth the hype? For its intended audience, yeah, absolutely. At 120 USD, or about 200 Australian for my local viewers, it delivers on what it promises. The Hall effect technology gives you a lot of customization, the build quality is solid, and the aesthetics with this keyboard are pretty unique. I may have bought it for the aesthetics, but I'm keeping it for the performance. If you're a competitive gamer looking to upgrade from a basic keyboard, this one should be on your radar. Just make sure you're comfortable with using NuPhy's version of the VIA software, so you can customize the keyboard exactly to your needs. And that's my take on the NuPhy Air60 HE. If it helped you decide whether this keyboard is right for your setup, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tech and gaming content that cuts through the hype. A link to the keyboard is in the description below if you want to check it out, along with an earlier unboxing short if you want to see more of the packaging. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.